Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Today I'm going to be taking a look at, for the very first time, a G.I. Joe figure on the channel. The G.I. Joe Classified, Target exclusive, Tiger Force Recondo. I don't know why, but I can't just say his name Recondo. I can't do it. I always have to roll the R. It just, with the mustache, the hat, he just exudes like, he's just suave, you know what I mean? Like he seems like the kind of ladies man, like the guy that's gonna, pull a fast one over your eyes. Like he just seems like that character. I have no knowledge of this character whatsoever. That's why I really do like the G.I. Joe line. Besides like the main ones like Snake Eyes and Duke, Duke is just the plain generic leader dude who no one really cares about. And then there's all the other cool characters, like Outback, who's awesome, and Crocmaster and Iron Knife and all these characters that I have, in Recondo here, or Recondo. Just, I don't know what it is. The G.I. Joe Classified line, they're just so good. They always have the one drawback of the ball joints in the legs, like the thighs. The pegs, like the ball is too big or whatever for like the pathway inside the hip, and it's always so scary because you always think you're going to break it. But I found a way to work around that, and I didn't even actually have to do it on this figure. So, I mean, of course, we just started the year, but this figure, I could see him very well going the distance and ending up in my top 10 of the year at the end of this year. Like, that's how good this figure is. So without further ado, let's quit talking about it and talk about it, actually. So let's get into what he comes with. The coolest thing about G.I. Joe figures is that everything that you see on him right now, he comes with. He has storage for all of it. And I think that's so freaking awesome. So let's pull his good old hand down here and show off his pack first. I think is probably the best thing we should look at here first. So the pack obviously plugs into the back, but this thing's pretty nice. I like it. It's not a super snug fit, but it's not bad. He's got the little canteen right there, the sleeping bag. It's different color. It's nice. I'm glad they actually painted it. It's nice to see a team from Hasbro, actually putting effort into their stuff. You guys hear something? Huh. But he also comes with a hat, because I feel like this character would not be himself without this hat. But I mean, look at this face. So he's got like the Puss in Boots hat, which looks phenomenal. It has a very nice kind of leather texture look to it. Got the two holes. The like wrap around it is painted very well. Got the one little side up right there. It looks good. Fits onto the head wonderfully too. It pops on. It's just held on by friction. It's not gonna come off or nothing from shaking him too much, which is always very good. I love whenever we don't have to worry about something just falling off a figure. You know what I mean? And he also comes with this pistol, which plugs into this holster right here, which I really like this holster setup. It's very nice. But he's got a nice little pistol here. Nothing too terribly special about it here, but it has some nice detail. Just a small little guy. It's pretty good. I like it. He also comes with a knife, which I want to say, is this a kukri? Is that what this is? But it has a very nice sheen to it. Oh, wow. No, it doesn't. Wow. Well, I mean, it has a nice sheen to it, but I thought that it was two separate sheens to make it look nice. But no, it's just the way the light hits it. That's so cool. You can actually see it has a serrated edge too. Just a little bit in there. And then the hilt is painted black. Has a nice texture throughout it as well. It fits in his hand very well. And the way it fits in the holster is very nice too. So it doesn't actually have to try to fight this part. There's actually a slit back here on the back of it. So whenever you port it in, it just slides in. No problem. No fuss, no muss. And I'm going to be real honest. The whole reason I wanted to get this figure is for this M14. At least I think this is M14. It looks like an M14. It kind of looks like the M14 from Zombies, which if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But that's the whole reason I wanted to get this. I saw him and was like, that's really cool. I'd like to give that to Outback. And then I played with the figure and I was like, oh, no, this is staying with him because this is my favorite G.I. Joe figure now. But the wrap looks so good. It actually has some weather to it. Individually sculpted. All this beautiful, beautiful work that was just put into this. And it's so nice. And I really can't say enough nice things about this, like all the sculpt work on this. It's just phenomenal. And now taking a look at the detail on Recondo. So here he is with the hat on. I'm going to take it off here in a second, but he just looks so good with this. Like it just... And I do like that the Tiger Force stuff, it's very clearly Tiger Force, but it's almost a little bit subdued, to a degree. Like, if I bring in Outback real quick, I mean, obviously, you know, it's super, like, blatant with his tiger shirt and all that. And the tiger stripes on his pants, you know, they show that they're Tiger Force. But I think that they just, like, they also can fit into the normal stuff. Like, you know, he's got, his pants look like that because those are the pants that he chose. And he pulls them off well, I think. You know, I think Recondo looks good with these pants. And then same with Outback. I think he's like, are you going to tell him that his tiger shirt looks like it's too much? Like, I mean, look at this man. He will fuck your shit up. But back to the hat. It looks so good. It just completes the figure. And then when you take that off, it's got kind of a mullet type thing going on here. And it's slicked back. It looks pretty good. The head doesn't look, you know, weirdly proportioned or anything, because a lot of the time whenever you try to have something where a hat or a helmet or whatever goes on a figure, it kind of, they always have to try to sculpt down the hair and it looks a little more subdued and it just doesn't look quite right. But I think it looks pretty good on this. I personally don't care for his hairstyle, so his hat's going to stay on there all the time for me. And also, I mean, just look at him. Like, he just, with the mustache and the hat like that, it looks good. And speaking of the mustache, it's painted very well. There's a little bit of a miss on the other side right here, but not too bad. I may go over these eyebrows to dull them down, but it's not that big of a deal. His shirt is very nice. I like this. I think we've seen this shirt before. I think this may... It's not the one that came with Duke because we can see this, although I could be wrong. I feel like we have seen this before. These arms, I'm not sure. They are pinless. Same with the legs, which awesome. Love to see it. He's got his holster, the gun belt, you know, or his holster on his torso, which is really nice. I like this. This is a very nice thing. You probably could get this off, but I think you'd have to heat up and pop the arms off. Otherwise, you'd have to just snip it and cut it if you wanted to put it on a different Joe figure. And I do like the way that they did this. His gun belt, it's kind of annoying a little bit. I like that they painted this too. This is really nice. It's kind of hard to pick up on camera here because of the light, but they actually put his shirt's not tucked like most other people's. It's actually out and it's just sculpted onto the belt piece. So if you go, you got to just be kind of careful because if it gets a little off kilter, it looks a little strange because you're like, why is that edge of his shirt all the way over there, you know? But not bad. And he's got the holster, like I said, for his sheath. He's got the sheath right here for his knife, which looks really good. I do wish they would put a little bit more paint on the actual like gun belts and stuff. Like this should at least be silver right here. I like that they did this, but I would have much rather preferred this to be silver because it's his buckle. You know what I mean? Then he's got the boots with the nice little shin guard type things going on here. He's got a watch on this side, which is painted as well, which is really cool. We'd love to see it. It's not sloppy either, which a lot of the time whenever like watches and stuff get painted, they always come out sloppy. But it looks really good on him. I like it. And also his tempo for his pants is really nice too. There's not much going on that like is really messed up, I feel like. Looks really good. I dig it. And now on to the best part of the Joe line, I feel like. Because, I mean, their accessories are awesome. I love that they come with so much stuff. Their detail's great. I think their articulation is really what puts it above everybody else. Because just imagine for a second. Because, like, the articulation that they have is like what the Renew Your Vows body Spider-Man has. And all the figures have that. So, well, it's flipped. Because it's an ab crunch and then a ball joint at the hips. But imagine if we started getting that. Because that really would not break up the sculpts. Instead of a waist swivel, if we got a ball jointed waist, oh man, imagine the photos that we could take with that. But anyway, for his articulation, his head can go back that far using both joints. His hair does get in the way. Can go down that far. Right here, he kind of looks like Kurt Russell in Tombstone, a little bit, just a little bit, because you can't see the other side of it. That's not bad. It's got nice little going back and forth, you know, rotation, all that good stuff. The standard G.I. Joe stuff. Shoulders go out that far. Pretty good. Can come across with the butterfly joint that far. Can go back a little bit. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows that go up all the way, which is awesome. Both of his hands are up and down hinges, which is kind of crazy because most of the time I feel like, at least for all the Joes that I have, this side is a back and forth, and then this side is up and down, so they can like grip the actual grip on the gun, and it kind of works out a little better. But because it's kind of throwing me off having both up and down hinges. It's nice, but I think I like the other way because I feel like it's a lot easier to get them into a gun holding pose, a two-handed gun holding pose, but not bad. As for his torso, and this is something else that's really cool about Joe's, is that their stuff it doesn't hinder. Like, I mean, obviously his hat popped off, but like, look at that ab crunch. His guns don't hinder that at all. You can go back that far. Like, that's so awesome. Can kind of kick to the side a little bit, but mostly you're going to get rotation and just kind of general stuff out of it, you know, like a little bit of movement. As for his legs, like I said, he doesn't have the problem that most of the Joes have, where you have to try to put shock oil or even trim down the peg, because that's what I do. I trim down the pegs. I heat up the legs, pop them off, and I trim down the pegs, so then I don't have to worry about the like clicking and the twisting of the pegs. But I got him right out of the package. He's perfectly fine, which is so awesome, and I hope that maybe they're doing something at the factory to make that better. But they do drop down, and they can go that far forward, that far back, thigh swivel, double jointed knees that go up that far. It's got boot swivel. Feet can go back that far, can go up, not really, but then he does have ankle pivot. Now onto some size comparisons. Here he is next to the Tiger Force Outback and the Iron Knife, and these are my 3 favorite Joes that I have. I love these 3 so much. I think they all look good together. I like that they are varying heights too. I like that every figure's not just, you know, pretty much the same build and buck and all that stuff, just with a different... Oh, actually, I'm cutting myself off here because, yeah, never mind. I thought because of the fact that his undershirt was red, I thought maybe it was sculpted. No, they actually share a torso. But yeah, even though they share a torso, they're actually a different height, and it's because they have different legs and different boots and all that stuff. And I really think that's nice that they just aren't all pretty much carbon copies of each other, but then different tempos, you know, throughout the line. I love that they actually are individual figures, that they all have their own personalities and stuff. Because this is my team right here. These 3, and then this gung-ho that I just got from Walmart that I actually found there. Like, how wacky is this team? You know what I mean? Like, look at this. This is my team of Joes, and I love it. I can't wait to get more. And then for some bad guys, here he's next to Crocmaster and Storm Shadow, and I think this looks really good as well. I think that he looks like he could fight Crocmaster in any sort of environment, and maybe even go toe-to-toe with him. You know, I could see it. I feel like he could pull out... Like, he seems like he could fence. And I don't know if that's just the mustache and the hat. Like, maybe my brain's going, like, Puss in Boots because of the hat. But I feel like Recondo could fence. I feel like he's a very cultured, well-traveled man. You know what I mean? And then here he is next to the 20th anniversary Captain America, if you wanted to toss him with your legends, or if you wanted to have him be, you know, a hunter of some kind and go after the Wolfman. I think this looks really good, too. I think this scales actually really well. I like the idea of using the Joes as, like, you know, Captain America's Howling Commandos. Overall, he's such a fun figure. The G.I. Joes, when you get a good one, because I feel like most of them are good, but I pick them up, they're so few and far between for me. I just feel like they always hit it out of the park. Like, they never miss, you know what I mean? Like, they just are always killing it with this line. And I'm going to show you guys a two-handed pose here, but the articulation, the detail, his weapons, all that stuff is just really good. It all looks really good. But see, this is the main problem that I was talking about with this, because I feel like, because for some reason they gave him the up and down with this one, which is not terrible, but if he had the back and forth hinge, it could get a lot closer to his shoulder and he could almost line it up with his vision. You know what I'm saying? But it's not bad. Like, and if you honestly wanted to, you could probably switch out the hands. I was thinking, honestly, I was debating on whether or not I wanted to get another Outback and maybe put his, like, camo pants on here and his gloves just to kind of spice up Recondo a little bit. But I was like, you know, I might not, probably won't, to be honest. But it was just a thought that I had. So yeah, just throwing that out there in case anyone else does want to try it. But yeah, let me know if you guys like me to review Joes on here, because if you do, I absolutely will review more, because I love this line, and I don't get them that often, but when I do, I'm very pleased with them, and I'll happily review them if you guys like it. So yeah, let me know down in the comments, and I will catch you all in the next one. See ya.